So now we are going to start working with the deployment groups that we have, which we created in our previous video. And once I select this, you can see that it is not going to be showing because you now need to refresh this one. And you can see that you will have this Udemy deployment groups coming in here, which is amazing. So we now have a deployment group and we can start using this deployment group for now. And once you have this deployment group, this is the only thing that you need to give within this deployment groups option of this particular IIS deployment group. And other than that, we're not going to be running the test in parallel as of now. So I'm just going to be leaving this as it is, and everything remains same. And the next option that we need to be worrying about is the IIS web app management. So within this IIS web app management, you can see that we now have an options like display name, which is the name that you are seeing in here, the IIS web app manage. And then the configuration type is for sure it's IIS website. And there is a website name. So you need to give a website name here. For doing this, just click this particular website name. Oops, it seems like it is not working. Maybe it's because I need to give a website name here in the deploy. So I can give a website name here, something called as EA employee app. So you can see that this is the exact same website name, which is going to be linking over here for you. So basically, that's what is coming from this particular deploy app. And then it's going to ask you for the bindings that you need to give. So basically, I'm just going to add some bindings here, which is something that you can select. And it will ask you for the port number. I guess that's what it is. There you go. So this is the only thing which I'm pretty much interested in, and I'm just going to remove this guy, the create and update app pool, which is going to be the default app pool. So I'm just going to be removing this for now, and you can see that this is the only thing that we require for the deploy app. And once I come in here, you can see all other errors that we had before are all kind of gone. We don't really have any error for now. And then I can go to the IIS web app deploy. And within this IIS web app deploy, I can see that I already have all the detail filled in, except that we can set some additional transformation, or we can exclude some files from the app data folder. But currently, as you know, within our zip file, we don't really have any of the app deploy folder and things of that nature. So I'm just gonna leave all of them pretty much exactly intact. So there is no problem in any one of them. So it's all good. And you can see that the package folder is looking for a system default working directory and a zip file, which is something we already have within our drop folder. So I'm just gonna leave everything as it is, which is all good. I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna say first EA app deployment. I'm gonna hit OK, and I'm gonna create a release here. So you can see that this is going to be using this particular drop, the second one, and then you're going to do a release. First ever release, that's our release description, and I'm going to hit create. So now it is going to start creating a release. You can see it's release 1, and now it is going to use this particular drop folder, and it's waiting for the agent to start doing. And you can see that this UI is pretty cool. It shows the deployment for you, and it is kind of initializing the job. It is downloading the task, the IIS web app management on machine groups, and then it is gonna run things for you. So this is how you can see that the deployment is basically gonna happen within your local machine. So now you can see that there is something called a CAZ agent A1 work R1 drop EA demo. So if I just copy this folder, and if I go all the way to my machine over here, you can see that we now have this UI test as well as the EA demo app zip file. That's something that we created in our drop folder. That's why it is coming over here, right? So this is exactly what is the download artifact things doing for us. I guess everything has been downloaded. Let me do a refresh of the page because nothing has been updated here yet. Oops, you can see that the IIS web app deployment has been failed here, and it says that there is another application sitting in the default website of the same port number, and it is something we cannot deploy over there. So it's not deploying the application over there. So if you see the internet information server that I have got over here, and there is this particular default website, and of course we have this EA employee app. I'm not sure what's really happening, but it is not something allowing us to delete it or something like that. Maybe it doesn't really have the admin rights to do that. I'm not pretty sure about that. So we can just try to have a different port number, and we'll see how we can do a deployment on that. So if I go to the release once again, this particular release edit, and if I go to this job, all these bindings, and within this particular binding, we can also have a port number, something like 81 maybe. Hit OK. So this is the different port number this time. Or maybe create or update the pool, application pool. If we go to the application pool, this is default app pool. So I'm just gonna use the default app pool. I'm gonna save this guy, and I'll do a create release once again, and we'll see what's really happening. So there is this release, and it's in progress. And now if I go to this log, and you can see that the download has been successfully completed, and the deployment is also successfully completed this time to the default app pool that we just created. So if I just go to the local host over here, I get this particular app. So maybe it's the port number is different. So maybe it's 81. Well, now I get this particular error. It says that the HTTP error 500 internal server error. And if you see the more information, you will see that you have some error with the application deployment over here. Well, if you just find the error something like this, you will never find the reason for this failure. And the reason for this failure is because I'm currently deploying the .NET Core app. So basically we need to install some additional packages here to make the code running without any problem, which we'll be doing in our next video to make our application up and running without any problem.